Billy and Stugotz want to debut a new segment right now, the JJ Watt of the day. So do you have any imaging here for our new segment?
Ladies and gentlemen, the JJ Watt of the day.
Billy, what is this segment? Who's the JJ Watt of the day?
Well, the JJ Watt of the day today is Paul Skenes, Dan.
The Pittsburgh Pirates mustache, 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Everyone is very excited about his debut. He's clearly a power arm who's going to be dominant if pitching doesn't wreck his arm the way it does everybody's.
Which it will, yeah. Spoiler alert. His arm's going to fall off, but that's okay.
Right.
Anyways, Paul Skenes.
Enjoy it while you can.
Yeah. Enjoy these 3 starts because his arm may fall off of his body.
I think I saw the fastest 10 pitches in the MLB this year. He has 9 of them.
Yeah, 9 of 10 of the fast. No, by a starting pitcher.
Have you guys ever...
Because starting pitchers know I shouldn't throw 103 every pitch.
Who has the other pitch? Soriano from the Yankees.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Look at that. Right off the top of your head.
Come
Nice.
on. It's not here. Look. I got the box scores.
Have you guys ever seen the horrifying video of Dave Dravecky, his arm breaking during a pitch?
It's the worst.
Yeah, it's terrible. Skenes, what you're alleging is if you keep throwing that hard, one day a batter's going to swing at your arm. Like your arm is going to go up there about 84 miles an hour.
If the ball stays in your arm when your arm flies off and you hit the ball, is it in play?
Huh.
That is a great question.
It is. But none of this has to do with why he is the JJ Watt of the day.
We'll get to that in a second. But if I toss a ball that is stuck in my glove to the first baseman, that is an out. That has happened before in the sport where the ball gets lodged in the glove of the pitcher and the pitcher just tosses the entire glove to the first baseman. What you're saying is ground ball to short. It's got Skenes to pitch, ground ball to short. It's got Skenes' arm on it, his dislodged arm, the throw over to first. And now the first baseman is catching Skenes' arm with the ball in it.
It's an out. Yeah, it's an out.
All right, how about this scenario? Skenes' arm is stuck on the ball. You hit the ball, get a hold of it. The arm bounces on the warning track and the ball goes over, but the ball never hits the ground. Is that a home run or a ground rule double?
Gotta go ground rule double there because
the ball never hits the
arm's
ground.
part of the ball, though, guys.
No, it's not.
Hand's part of the ball.
No, not in
Hand's
baseball.
part of the ball.
That is wrong sport. That is a home run. Put it on the poll, please, Juju, at Le Batard Show. If the pitcher's arm falls off holding the ball and then is hit to the warning
The
track.
batter gets a hold of it. It's important to phrase it that way.
Right.
Like where the shoulder hits the warning track, so the ball is as far from the wall as you can, and then it goes over.
You want all this in there?
Isn't that an out immediately?
Why would it be an
it's
out?
an
Because if a player catches a baseball that's hit straight up the middle to the pitcher, we've seen that a pitcher barehanded. That's an out. All they have to do is catch it. So the second the batter makes contact with the ball with the arm still holding onto it.
No,
But the
think-
ball
might be
never
an out.
loses. He never loses contact with the
hand,
ball,
but
though.
the hand is holding on to the ball. It's like essentially you're tagged.
No, I think no, because if the arm, if you go
If
to
you hit one up the
rob a
middle.
home run,
Yeah.
and somehow the person's arm is severed on the wall, and the ball goes into this is a different person who's
Okay,
lost an arm.
This is
Oh,
the
wow.
This
outfielder.
person this is the outfielder catches a ball. Their arm hits the wall, is severed, and the arm goes over the wall with the ball. I believe that would be a home run. I think someone would have to catch Paul's arm for it to be an out.
What if the arm is in play but the ball is out of play?
But
Could
that's
happen.
but it's like catching a foul ball.
It could.
I think you're
Yeah.
out the second you make
Right.
contact.
No,
I don't think any of what we're presently
Should we ask Tim
discussing
Kirkchin?
can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, go
let's
ahead.
text
someone.
him.
I could text him, but I don't even know what to text him.
In that first scenario where the shortstop gets the ground ball with the guy's arm attached to the ball, that's a heck of a throw. I mean, right?
How do you throw? Do
you rip the
throw
ball
an
out of his
arm.
hand?
I mean,
No, you got to throw the arm like
You
an
throw the
axe.
whole arm?
you
like
got-
you know,
yeah.
like the axe
Yes.
bars. You go like that. I would think you throw the arm like
That
over
is-
your head, and then you hope that somehow the first baseman gets the ball. That's the thing about axe throwing that I don't get is how does the axe head normally find that wall and it's not like the handle? Because most of the time the axe head finds it somehow.
I think it's gravity.
Really?
Yeah, I think it has something to
Sometimes
do
they
with
bounce
Gravity's
back.
up down, not front back.
If this ever happens, everyone's going to be horrified at the severed arm.
They'll be distracted. Exactly right.
But I will be locked into that
Finish the
mound
play.
meeting where the umpires like gather to figure out what's what. Like,
Could it
what's
be a
the
balk?
I think this is a balk.
That's
if
a
it
good
never,
question.
The ball never leaves
if
his
it
hand.
never leaves the guy's
Right.
hand, it's
Arm
100%
comes
a balk.
off, right.
But if the ball's in play, then does it become the decision of the offensive team?
Huh.
What I will tell you guys when you ruin this by calling it a balk is that just like Travis Kelce had that lateral in the game that was disallowed because of Kadarius Toney lining up offsides and us blaming the referee for ruining something. If the umpires called a balk in this situation and denied us the following conversation about whether it's an out, the axe throw, the home run, is it a ground rule double? If it's a balk, if it's just a balk, that would be really disappointing.
But if the bases are empty, then it can't be a balk.
That's true.
I
believe only have a balk with a runner on.
Can you balk with
I think it becomes a ball. I think a ball.
No, that's ball. B-A-L-L.
Yeah, there's
different.
a K.
Balk
I
is a
believe
K.
that if a pitcher.
The K is a strike.
Yeah, that's a strikeout. And if it's a backwards K, then it's strikeout looking.
Thank you.
Which is confusing.
We need to text him.
Yeah.
What if you hit it right back
then
to
you
the
get
pitcher?
3 strikeouts and everyone's like, what do we do?
And the pitcher catches his own arm.
Well, that's definitely an out. But it might have been
you
an
don't
out.
like the optics of the 3 strikeouts.
We've got a lot of conversations going on at once. I'd like to rein it in. We haven't gotten to the J.J. Watt of the day just yet. I believe you can have a balk without runners on base. Do I have this wrong? It's not a traditional balk, but I thought that there are certain things a pitcher could do that would result in a batter getting one ball in his favor because with nobody on base, the pitcher had done something.
I don't know. Nestor Cortez puts on an entire dance performance when no one's on base.
Mm-hmm.
If no runners are on base and the pitcher commits an otherwise balkable action, there is generally no penalty. Okay. Generally,
I'm seeing the opposite of that. I'm seeing that if there's a balk with no runners on, that a ball is issued.
So we got to the bottom of this.
All right. Why is
But what if the pitcher catches his own arm?
We'll get back to that. Stugotz.
Then that's an out.
Okay.
Unless the ball hits the ground. If the ball's touching the ground when he catches his arm, then the ball hits the ground.
AI is saying that you can't balk with no runners on base.
Iverson said that?
Yeah, but it's not a balk because if you do something illegal with no runners on base, they issue a ball.
It's a ball,
it wouldn't
not
be
a
a
balk.
balk, but it is a balk. It's just the way they issue the penalty, it's with a ball.
But Allen Iverson said no.
If the pitcher drops the ball, but no one's on base, it is ignored with no penalty. So I think the same rule applies that if the ball drops while an arm is attached to it.
I don't know what the ruling is on that. We will check with Tim Kirkchen. We will also, at some point this segment, I'm assuming, find out why he's the J.J. Watt of the day, even though Hail to the Chief has now stopped playing. We've run out of the music.
It's a short bed, that's why.
It is.
But I would like to just explore
You want to get to the J.J. Watt of the day?
in a second.
Okay. Good tease.
Getting there, trying to get there. But if you're confused about anything that's happened so far, I will clarify it for you. A ball, if you add a K to the end of it, becomes a balk.
But you take away an L.
But the K is a strikeout,
correct,
and
yes.
you have to take away an L, and all of this is very confusing. But if a human arm falls off of the pitcher and is hit to the warning track and then lands on the warning track, I believe that it is immediately an out just because an arm of a defender has the ball in its hand and has caught it before it has hit the ground and therefore is an out.
I don't think so.
I think handing the ball still applies, though. I know it's a different sport, but you can't say that it's a hit, right, without the ball dislodging from the severed arm from the hand, right? In this scenario, do we have the ligaments and muscles so tight around the ball that you can't get the ball out of it?
The ball needs to come free.
Okay, hold on a second. Now, if the arm is still attached and somehow instead of the bat making contact with the ball, it makes contact with the back of the hand because of the way that it's spun.
Right.
If a bat hits a catcher's hand, that's catcher's interference. So would it be pitcher's interference?
I just love our work environment. Like Mike just stepped out making a serious dictation of a text where he's just like, Tim, if an arm is severed and the ball is still in the, it's just like as he's trailing away from me, just a ridiculous sentence.
We need
Someone had to
closure.
do it.
Yeah, exactly right.
Why is he the J.J. Watt of the day?
Dan, thanks for asking. So, according to ML Football on X, Pirates phenom pitcher Paul Skenes plans to go serve in the U.S. military once he's done with his baseball career, according to his former coach, Mike Kozlowski. Quote, it's a big deal for Paul to be able to serve our country.
Such a big deal, Dan. If it's a big deal, do it now and stop pitching. But such a big deal to Paul that he transferred away from the military. He left the Air Force Academy to pursue a baseball career. How about that? That is J.J. Watt. But Those are the type of things you say when you leave the military to play Major League Baseball. You tell him one day, I will get back to the military. He's never going back to the military. I assure you, he has no plans. And I'm not certain the military will want him at the age of 40, but he has no plans of going back to the military.
Well, if it's missing, though, then do they take him?
Right.
Is he eligible to serve?
You think once he's pitched 15 years in the majors, if he makes it that long, he's amassed, I don't know, 70, 80, 90, $100 million, whatever he makes over that time frame.
More than that.
You think the first thing he's going to do is go back and fly a fighter jet? Like, what's the matter with you?
Ted Williams did miss the prime of his career.
Thank you for mentioning. True American.
Flying a fighter jet.
Was that by choice?
Of course.
No.
I don't think
he
so.
had to.
No, I believe that was drafted, yes. I also want to exonerate Skenes here. You've called him the J.J. Watt of the day, even though this is a former coach being quoted. He's not saying anything. J.J. Watt would say that wrapped in the American flag with a bald eagle on his shoulder while driving a tank he made out of American pies.
That's fair.
Apple pies and cherry pies.
Totally fair.
I believe this is also the coach at the Air Force, so this could be like the ex that's like, yeah, we'll get back to you.
Well, I just don't think it's fair to take him out as a J.J. Watt of the day when he hasn't said anything. All he's done is throw the hardest
You
pitch.
let your coach leak that out, you want
What
that
do you
out
mean,
there.
leak it out?
No,
Right.
that's you.
Coach, you say it.
Test the waters.
Right.
Exactly right.
Coach, you say it. Just text me on the back end. Let's see what
Getting criticized. I left the Air Force Academy. Everyone's crushing me.
Nobody's criticizing
Everyone
him for
is.
leaving the air. What are you talking about?
He felt the pressure to say it. I mean, why say it? I mean, I know he did say it, but he said it.
What are you doing?
You don't think he ever told that to his manager? You don't think there was a reason he told his manager that?
What are you doing?
J.J. Watt of the day.
I know, but he didn't say anything. All he did was throw 101 miles an hour. He's being quoted by someone who was in his past.
He didn't have to say it, Dan. I mean,
to anybody?
Yeah, he didn't have to say it.
When it's in your heart like that and your coach knows it, I mean, they have the opportunity to say it. It's in your heart.
Tony, go look up the years of his prime, what Ted Williams did around being a fighter pilot. Like, go look up the stats, the years he gave up to the war. Xander, there is nothing in your teeth. You look like a champion. You look like you have the smile of a champion. You look like a winner. He is 30 years old. He's a bona fide star on the PGA Tour. After making the final group on Sunday 4 times this season, finally won his first major PGA Championship this Sunday, and it's his first win since 2022.
It was such a feel-good win for people who love golf and love Xander because he has been so close so many times, Dan. He's been in 28 majors, finished in the top 25, I think 21 times.
But right now he's struggling with something in his teeth, and I don't know what it is. What is happening? Why are you struggling so much with what's happening with your mouth right now?
An entire truffle.
I just had an everything bagel. There's something in there, you know. It's all good.
It's a dangerous bagel to have.
Those are tough.
It is. Those are tough.
Right before an interview.
A lot of seeds. There's a lot. Put it on the poll. Is the everything bagel tough right before an interview?
You going chive cream cheese plain? What are we doing here?
No, it was actually a little like breakfast bagel. So,
It's good though.
I like. It was nice, but tough time though. Yeah, agent texted me. He's like, "You got to get on," and I was like, "Let me."
Well,
you're fine. Don't worry about it.
You're great.
But what is
I like the trophy casually being over your shoulder too.
So
nice
great,
touch.
yes.
What is the greatest of the bagels? Go ahead and make the perfect bagel for us.
Oh, everything bagel toasted. I kind of like a little bit more of a toast on it as well. I like a little bit of
double toasted.
Yeah, well done.
Double toast for sure. Yeah. And then, just some cream cheese. I keep it simple, just like everything else.
Nothing else? You don't want lox? You don't want anything? Just cream cheese, a preferred schmear of any kind? Like, do you have a brand that you endorse?
No, not really.
All right. That concludes that particular cul-de-sac where the interview questions end there. I want to ask you, though, about the bad parenting in your life that involves you getting cigars at 10 years old. Like, that doesn't seem – that seems like something that everyone in your family should be against.
I have my dad's half French, half German. My mom's Taiwanese, grew up in Japan. We're pretty, we have a worldly background. So I don't know where it started, but I was around cigar smoke for quite some time.
Well, I thought it was 10 years old, which sounds too early to me.
It is too early.
Yes. Smoking a cigar at 10. I was getting secondhand high, I guess.
So was I.
Well, that's smoking. I mean,
yeah. Okay. So when did you start smoking cigars, and what is your expertise in this area?
I'm a rookie. I mean, I'll smoke them with pretty much anyone, but usually celebratory is the region. Social to celebratory is how I'd categorize my smoking. And then, I think the first cigar I ever tried was probably when I was 12 or 13.
Oh, Jesus. Not 10 at least. I mean.
Yeah, it's still pretty early.
Just a touch. It wasn't much.
An inhale.
What can you tell us is unusual about your upbringing when you have when you have so much different culture in your upbringing? What would you identify as some of the things most responsible for forming you?
Good question. I'd say it was an unorthodox approach to just about everything. The way we, it was very European, I guess, the way like we'd have 3-hour dinners. When we'd have conflict, we would sit and talk about what happened. It wouldn't be like, go to your room, you're grounded. Like I've never been grounded in my entire life. So all these, like, it was like a lot of conversation. We talked through a lot of the problems. Like my dad and my mom, they always wanted me to understand what was going on, why I was in trouble, if I was ever in trouble. I mean, like it felt like I could do pretty much anything as a kid compared to a lot of my other friends. But, I always think back to like when I was a kid, I was like, why didn't I do more dumb stuff? Like if my parents didn't really mind. And so they obviously had some sort of hook in me there, knowing that I wasn't going to do anything too bad as a kid. But the international background just brought a lot of culture, a lot of food, and a lot of family into the whole thing.
When you mention cultural influences, which would you say was the greatest? Like what's the one that pushed you forward the most?
I mean, it's a mix. I mean, Asian culture is super family oriented. The Germans and the Japanese, historically have gotten along in the past. They instill a lot of discipline, a lot of perfection, a lot of work ethic. And then the French kind of aspect, my dad's half French, and, he tries to explain how they live their lives. They try to enjoy how they live, savoir vivre, whatever it means. He would always say that as a kid for me growing up, like it's just a way like to live your life a certain way and to enjoy everything. So you take your time when you eat dinner, you take your time when you're with your friends. You're never really in too much of a rush. So there's a lot of clash with the cultures, but I'm kind of just like a melting pot of a lot of it.
Where'd the discipline come from, though? Because it's such a lonely sport. It requires such perfectionism. So the discipline about being meticulous, where does that come from?
Yeah, definitely, the Asian in me, stereotypically, and the German for sure. Just the German drill sergeant from my dad's perspective was just hounding down on me, always just holding me accountable. We'd have conversations about what I'd like to do, how I want to go about my work. And it didn't take a whole lot once I, came out with what I was trying to do myself and I verbalized it. My dad would hold me to my words often, and it didn't take a lot for him to push me because I said it all and it's things that I wanted. So he just held me to a high standard. Give
me the most extreme example you can think of from your childhood of trying to meet the expectations around that kind of pushing.
He never really pushed. He when I sat down, I was just like any kid. I wanted to hang out with my friends. I wanted to, go to the mall after school. I wanted to do all those small things. But, my dad told me if you want to be great at anything, you have to put a ton of hours into it, and you're young, so you can get a nice head start. And so he's like, I will help you if you are committed, and I will love you if you're committed. I will still love you if you're not committed, but this is a choice you need to make right now. And it's a hard choice because you're a kid. And so I just remember there's times, where school would end and I would try to hitch a ride from my buddies because I was pretty young when I was, I was like 13 when I got to high school. My parents were foreigners, but I was just trying to go to just trying to get myself to the golf course, and in the random days where I was tired after school, it was like, get out at 3 p.m. and I'd be at home. My dad would come home from work. He'd be like, "Did you practice?" And I would look at him, like every kid looks at their parent when they mess up, and he didn't really have to say anything else. And I just felt this like overwhelming guilt in my body because I told him that I was committed, and I told him that I wanted this, and I was letting him down, and I was letting myself down more than anything. So I don't know how he did it, but he played some nice mind games with me when I was a kid.
Xander, I've got no connection point to being a good golfer, let alone one that's barreling down on the precipice of winning a championship like you just did. Typically, people that cruise to a title, they have a charmed existence, and I don't know what your mindset is, but you had to play really good golf to win this one. You had some of the best golfers in the world on an absolute heater in form to win a title. Are you paying attention to what other people are doing on the course, knowing that you have to lock in that much more, or are you just tuning it out and trying to play your game?
Well, I mean, both. There's these leaderboards that are like 30 by 30. They're massive. You just see them everywhere. So I look at it, I recognize it, I embrace it, and then I just have to lock in. I got to realize, why am I in this position? It's because I've been staying in my lane. It's because I've been doing all these things the way I do them. And so it's easy to get, lost in the sauce, like looking too far ahead. And you just look at the board, you accept it, you embrace it, and then you just get to work. You know exactly what you have to do to win a tournament. And hard part's doing it, obviously, but just locking in after every shot. It's like a weird 3 hours of your life because it's going really fast, but it's also so slow at the same time. It's strange. It's hard to explain.
Xander, we have video here of the second shot on 18. You have 2 feet in the sand. The ball's above your legs. I tell the guys, and I told them yesterday, that's one of the greatest shots in golf history that no one will ever talk about. Do you agree with me?
Yeah, it's nerve-wracking. I mean, I've hit that shot. If you've played a sport enough and you're in their sport a ton, like golf, for example, I've hit it everywhere on a property you can possibly imagine. So I've had a shot like that before, and I wasn't too nervous about it. And like you said, everyone was playing incredible golf. Like I knew I had to make a birdie, and if you're trying to win, you have to go for it. So I knew chipping out, and trying to hit an iron up on that ridge wasn't going to get me a birdie. I knew punching it up there somewhere was going to give me the best chance and opportunity to win this golf tournament.
How many beers have been consumed out of that trophy behind you?
We started with some champagne. We're in Kentucky, so there was whiskey, like classically, some bourbon. And it was we had a nice go with it. We had a small crew there at the rental. When we get back to, I'm in Florida right now, but when we get back to San Diego, that's where Austin's from, and a lot of my, that's where I grew up. So I'm sure. And then my parents are on a whole nother level. They have their like crews they're going to go out with. So there's a good chance my parents actually drink more out of this than I do.
I have so many questions, but we have limited time with you. Who are some of the coolest people you've heard from over the last couple of days that you find moving?
Tiger's reached out, a lot of guys on tour have reached out. They've been super supportive. MJ texted me. I got to know him a little bit better at joining the Grove here in Florida. Steph Curry reached out. He's a Callaway staffer. So it's been it's been an awesome. It's cool to have other sporting figures to reach out to me.
Could have just said MJ. I mean,
yes, but he's got it's a good list. I want
a great list.
I want to kind of go through his texts here, but who hasn't reached out that should have?
My dad.
Who's the person? Come on.
I mean, I am. Yeah, my phone. I thought my phone was going to explode, so I'm still like, I'm constantly just trying to get back to. Everyone's been so supportive. I'm just trying to get back to everyone individually. I thought my phone was literally going to overheat at some point.
What's your go-to response? Because you're getting so many. It's kind of like when you get birthday messages. Like, are you just saying thanks, bro? Like, what's your go-to response to all the congratulations you're getting?
I'm not a copy and paster. So, I mean, I'll read what they wrote, and, I'll try to respond accordingly.
Little salute emoji.
Just
maybe?
The heart. You just heart it and move on.
No. Yeah. That's like a nice thing that, the iPhone did, or Apple, or iMessage, where you can just like heart everything. But I'll write a text. I'll address who they are, just so it doesn't feel like, I'm just ripping through these things.
You hear from Scotty, or his hands tied?
That's a good joke, Xander.
Oh, man. No, yeah, Scotty and Meredith, they're awesome. Meredith reached out.
When that's going down, are you like, oh, this field just opened up?
Yeah, it's the number one golfer in the world.
He fired at 66 after he got out of prison.
He's my friend, but it gives me a certain advantage to have him in jail, not
does
prison.
break up the groove.
There's only a few ways to beat the guy. You know what I'm saying?
What is the best of the group chat? Because I've been told by sources that the group chat that you have changed the group chat to include Scheffler's mugshot.
That was not. There was someone else on our table that did that. It was the day after. We needle Scotty. He kicked it like a champ. So our little group chat for our physio table, it ended up being a mugshot of Scotty, and he took it great. He showed up the next day smiling at everybody.
But take us through you learning the news and where you were. Just take us through everything that happened there, where you realized my friend's in jail. This isn't terrible for me. They can wait. They can wait a while before they let him out.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a prank. I mean, I woke up. I can't remember what time, 7:45 or 8 o'clock or something. Like trying to sleep in, and my wife has media on her phone. I don't have anything on my phone, so she showed me. She's like, "What is this?" And I was like, "It must be a prank or something." And then we turned the TV on, and he's just plastered all over ESPN. So I was like, "Oh, that's kind of interesting." And then news started coming out, but he's I don't know if you guys know him at all or have ever talked to him. He's a concrete dude. He's solid. So I know him pretty well now, and I've competed against him, and he there's no way he would ever do anything to harm anyone except a competitor or a golf ball. So
all well and fine, but what was the funniest thing? What was no, he's not going to answer that.
You saw him get to the club, and you're like, "What happened to due process?"
I just want to know what the funniest stuff was with
got out of that holding so quick.
The funniest stuff with Scotty being in prison,
jail, not prison.
Yeah, jail, not hard time yet. Still pending.
He was
like when he tees it up. Are you saying to yourself, "How would he get out so quick?" I mean,
no. I mean, I think the funniest thing I was like. I don't know how people in Kentucky had a screen printer, but they had mugshot shirts an hour and a half after he was released. And I was like, walking around property, you know what I mean? And kids are wearing a free Scotty shirt. I'm like, people are incredible these days. I don't know how they do it.
Yes or no question. We will let the champion go on this one. Yes or no. You will at one point wear one of those T-shirts in front of him.
I would 100% wear it in front of me.
Okay, let's make sure he gets one, please. Xander, thank you for being on with us. We appreciate it, and congratulations.
Thanks, boys.
Where's Weird Ass Ruiz at?
All right, he's been called out again. Weird Ass Ruiz. We'll see if he returns. Paul Pierce is eating something. Pierce, what are you eating? What is that breakfast you put together? You got a gnarled, dislocated finger there?
I got a sausage McMuffin from McDonald's.
Nice.
Okay, last time you came on, you were brushing your teeth. I feel like you're sort of actively trying to disrespect the television process around here. Oh, look. Okay, you got
a...
There he is. Jesus.
Okay,
mid-bite, Dan.
All right, so...
I can't be on TV with the stuff in my teeth.
Paul, why do you go McMuffin and not McGriddle? The one that's like a pancake with the syrup inside.
That's a good question.
We stumped you, huh?
What happened? You don't. You got to do better here. He's offered you an option you didn't know was available.
I'm a '70s baby. We grew up on these. Those wasn't available.
Okay, so it's a bit of nostalgia. It's some childhood for you. You taste your childhood there.
I hardly eat it, but it's like a quick fix, pretty much.
All right, we will find.
All right, what's up, gang?
All right, we'll find.
I'm up.
All right, Weird Ass Ruiz is somewhere around here.
Weird Ass Ruiz around here.
I think he's boycotting you and everything about the Celtics. You pulled one out of your ass last night. Jaylen Brown never made that shot before in his life.
Man, we can't play like that if we get to the finals versus these teams in the West. Seriously, I thought the game was over. I was like, pretty much. Any good team, we lose that game. I mean, not that Indiana's not a good team, but you know what I'm saying. Like Denver or Minnesota or Dallas, one of them teams is not giving that game away. So hopefully that was a wake-up call. We've had quite a few wake-up calls in the playoffs, especially at home, but in this case, we had a wake-up call to where we won the game. So hopefully, they'll play better, moving forward.
There's been quite the debate today, Paul, about whether or not Jason Tatum had a good game or a bad game last night. So I will ask you, did he have a good game or a bad game last night?
I mean, I just look at it as defensively, nobody played well. Yeah, when you look at the numbers, you wake up and you see the 30-plus points, and for the most part, he played well. He made some big buckets. Obviously that and one down the stretch, what was that, in overtime, that kind of sealed it. He did what he had to do to help the team win, but he knows he could play better. And that's the scary part. When you look at it and you see the numbers that he put up and you say he could play better, that's just the standard that, I think we all hold him to.
But what do you make of the fact that for long stretches he's absent? What do you do?
Well, no, you know what? I think they settle for too many threes. And I think, Jason sometimes, they get complacent with the three ball and they got to just, sometimes get to the free throw line or attack the rim with some aggression from the post or from the perimeter. But I think that has a lot to do with the point guard. That has a lot to do with, the guys out there, the coach. Like, at some point, when I played, if I didn't touch the ball for and I go invisible for I'll be like, hold on, we got to bring it this way in the timeout, or rush Rajon. I'll be like, man, come on, I'm our scorer. So, we bring it this way. You got to keep me going. So, a lot of that is a combination of him and the team and who's out on the court with him.
Would you trade right now, before Game 2, Jason Tatum for Anthony Edwards? Straight up. No.
I think right now that Tatum is the more mature player, but Edwards, he's on his way. This is his first great playoff run. Hey, man, who is that?
Who are you looking at?
That's Ruiz.
Who are you looking at? I don't know. Are you looking at Ruiz?
Oh, you see
Hey, man, look me in my eyes when you're on TV, dude. Don't be looking away.
Well, wait a minute. He's in another room. Ruiz, now, weird-ass Ruiz, come in.
Look me in my face.
All right.
Get in here, Mike.
Come on, Mike. You're being summoned. You didn't want to be a part of it. You were boycotting it, but he wants you to look him in his face when you talk to him.
Look me in my face when you come on camera and address me.
Well, he's outside of the room. He wasn't addressing you. I think he was cleaning his ears, but now he's coming in because you requested him. So he is defiantly and angrily coming in here, and he's got Q-tips in every ear for reasons I don't totally understand. Look, Paul,
show up to work on time. Show up to work on time.
Oh, Paul, that's rich coming from you. I've been waiting around for 40 minutes.
Show up, please.
What is your problem with Ruiz?
I just don't like his. I don't like his beard.
Huh?
I just
doing
don't.
the beard thing again? I don't like your face.
Yeah, he tries to emulate.
I don't like your lack of success in the postseason. I don't like the fact that you wore green and then you went to wear white. But there's one
I'm a Kendrick Lamar him. I don't like his lineup. I don't like his beard. I don't like his clothes. I don't like the girls he talks to.
You remember that ratty ass thing you were playing with? I remember your beard. At least this guy can grow a full one. Come on.
I'm gonna just Kendrick Lamar you. I just don't like
that beard. Not like us. Your beard. Not like us. Oh, real. Speaking of real, those chompers are looking nice. I don't know who you got for that, but hit me on the side, DM me the rec, because that is, I'd be brushing them nonstop too if I got those chompers. Is there a porcelain shortage? What's going on now? I'm back to boycotting. Crazy. I'm going to disappear like Jason Tatum for 13 minutes.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
What happened to that Jalen Brunson jersey that you were stomping on? Why did you do that? Where did you get a Brunson jersey? I didn't know you had any problems with Jalen Brunson or the Knicks.
I don't have no problem with Jalen Brunson. I had to tell people this wasn't about Jalen Brunson. I had to get a New York Knicks jersey because I lost a bet because I didn't think the Knicks would get out the first round. And I said I would wear a Knicks jersey on the podcast if they win versus Philly. So they won, so I got the jersey. I didn't even care whose jersey it was. I mean, who cares? Just for the simple fact I'm wearing a New York Knicks jersey, it's just hurtful anyway. So I wore it, and then when they lost, I'm like, I don't need this no more. So, we jumped them. It didn't matter who it was. You could have sent me a DiVincenzo jersey or whoever. OG Anunoby. This had nothing to do with it. This wasn't no.
You had to burn a jersey. That's it.
I had to take down a Knick jersey. That's it.
Okay.
I feel like you chose the two hardest names for you to pronounce on the Knicks.
That's all they have outside of Brunson.
I know. There weren't a lot of guys that were healthy for them. Let me play some sound for you here of Kevin Garnett on with Stephen A. Smith. I want to get your thoughts here on whether these mixed allegiances are okay by you if Boston does get to face Minnesota in the finals.
If Boston ends up facing the Timberwolves for the championship, what's that going to be like for you, KJ?
And that's a win-win for me. I win both ways. You understand? I win. If Boston and Minnesota makes it to the finals,
look, he got the jersey.
I know I've won. Period. And I'm the chairman of the boards of the 50-50 club. Nobody else can do this but me. You understand what I'm saying? I'm also a client.
Oh man, come on. Now you know what it is? He must have got in good with ownership now. With Minnesota, because he was off them for a while. So that's why he trying to play both sides. KG think he's slick. You know, he think he's slick. You know, that's all good. But he got alliance with both of them. He spent his whole childhood in Minnesota, and then, you know, came to Boston and obviously won a championship. So I'm not even mad at him on that one.
But he is slick because that smile at the end, and his teeth are almost as nice as yours there with that smile. But KG is also crazy, right? Like, you have all the stories of KG is his intensity.
Yeah, that smile look weird, huh?
Well, his intensity is just nuts. It's just, I don't know what it's like. Explain to us what it's like to be friends with him. It must be relentless.
Oh, you always got to have your bulletproof vest on. He'll come. Hey, look, if he smells signs of weakness, he got you. No, that's just him, man. He don't got no off button. Y'all know that. I mean, it looked like he was getting ready for Game 7 in that interview with Stephen A. It was like, damn. He was like, oh, you know, I got both teams ready, Lord, and I'll be ready. You know, it's like every time he talk, he go into a lather. You know, I'm like, damn, dog, you know, chill out. We just chilling in the backyard watching the game.
It's a great KG.
It is.
You know,
you
just
have
go
to have
into
a
a
Lord in
lather.
there.
Yeah, you know, he'd be like, Lord, you know, I got both teams.
The Truth Lounge with Paul Pierce is every Friday on the DraftKings Network.
What is this cowboy doing, man?
All right.
Looking like the character from Toy Story.
He's doing mouthwash, it looks like. Do you want him again? God. You want to talk again to Weird Ass Ruiz? Again, you want to
keep weirdo over there, man. I don't know what he's doing right. He going through a midlife crisis.
I want to ask you about J.J. Redick. He is saying on television last night, you got to foul when you're up by 3. LeBron was tweeting video of the podcast in real time saying the same thing. And now Shams is reporting that the Lakers think that J.J. Redick has, quote, Pat Riley-like potential. J.J. Redick is the coach of the Lakers. Puppet or pal?
I don't know. You know what? Be honestly, JJ does have great basketball insight, and I do enjoy listening to him. So, you know, I don't know how that translates, but, you know, we've seen Steve Kerr do it. We've seen Doc Rivers do it. You know, so maybe he got a shot. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, to go to a team with demanding personalities such as LeBron, I mean, I know he has a good friendship with him in AD. That's a difficult spotlight to be in for your first head coaching job. But, you know, maybe he does have Pat Riley like. I mean, of course, you can kind of think you can emulate that, but you got to understand Pat Riley is one of the greatest to ever do it. So if you think you can bring JJ along for the ride, but the window with LeBron is short, so if they don't get it done, you know, he'll be on the hot seat. So that's a hot seat job right there. So I don't know. I don't know how to call that one.
But if the window is indeed short, what do you make? Because last time you were on with us, or 2 times ago, you mentioned that you were as awed by LeBron James still doing this as the oldest player in the league as the rest of us were.
Yeah, for sure.
But what do you make of the power to hire your own coach, to get your son drafted higher than he would otherwise be drafted? What do you make of the value and power at this age?
Well, I mean, you got to understand what LeBron has brought to the game, man. He's one of the most influential players of this generation, if not the most influential when it comes to like on court, off the court, you know, situations. You know, he's changed the landscape on free agency, on contracts, on how you move to different teams, and you know, his friends getting into the agent game, and just he's it's just what it is. I mean, he's shown how to manipulate the system, as we should say it, but rightfully so. He's one of the greatest to ever do it. So he should have some input when big decisions are being made for a franchise that he's won a championship for, and possibly gonna get his number retired at.
Paul, would you draft Bronny #1 overall to get 2 years of LeBron James if you felt like you were LeBron James away from winning a title?
And it's a bad draft.
Like a team like the Knicks, okay?
Nah, I'll be realistic about it. I wouldn't draft him #1 overall because, it's probably some guys in the draft that probably have a better upside. We talking about a 6'1" guard with athleticism we haven't seen a #1 pick like that since Allen Iverson, but we all know who Allen Iverson was. I think you could get him in late first round, second round, or even in free agency. I don't think it has to be that dramatic to where you pick him up as the first pick just to try to see if you can get LeBron.
What happened to your finger?
I dropped a plate on it, man. I was doing a plank, straight arm plank with the 45-pound plate on my back, and I was walking, on my hands, sliding my feet with the circle sliders. And then as you step this way, my back turned and the plate slid off and smashed my finger.
Man.
Yeah, it came completely off.
Hate when that happens.
That's a fired trainer.
You hate when that happens.
Yeah, you got to fire your trainer. Like, what is that? Your trainer can't let that happen.
I was pissed at the trainer because he was standing right there holding the plate up, and then I felt it sliding, and he's just standing there. Oh yeah, man, I'm changing trainers, man. He fainted too when he saw it, so I'm done with him.
Did he really?
You just fired him?
Yeah.
He fainted and you just fired him, but he actually fainted because he realized his job was over.
No, he fainted because the weight came down, smashed the finger. The finger looked like it came off and blood went everywhere, and he just fainted.
Is he okay?
And I just looked at it. I got up, put some towels on it, and drove myself to the hospital and got surgery.
Paul, that's a disaster. Like that,
he should be fired.
What you just described is a real disaster. By how long?
See, I got a pin in it.
He's got a pin in it, keeping it together.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How long have you had this trainer?
Just since last summer, man. But he's done. He's done.
That seems like a soft core issue more for you, Truth, that you were going through and you were a little weak on one side and it slid down.
It wasn't weak. I was, sometimes it's hard to like keep the balance on the back with a 45 plate. So what is this dude doing over here? Man, this dude got some issues over here. Ruiz,
get in here. Weird ass Ruiz, get in here again.
Ruiz, is it Ruiz or Ruiz?
It's Ruiz.
Ruiz.
Whatever you want it to be.
Ruiz. It is Hispanic. Get in here, Ruiz.
Ruiz.
He wants to know what you're doing. You seem to be handling a whole bunch of disrespectful hygiene stuff while we're interviewing.
Hey, get in the room while I'm talking, Ruiz.
Okay, he wants to talk to your face again because you've been grooming yourself the entirety of this interview.
This is not time off when I come on the show. Get your ass in the room and sit down.
Wow.
I'm talking.
Well, now wait a minute.
I'm talking.
Okay.
Who are you talking to like that? Not Rasho Nasarovich.
Hey, I'm talking, so get on the set.
Okay, he has demanded. Yeah, you got to be careful with that outfit, Paul. You're not his boss. I am, and he's only coming in here because you're summoning him. And
he has to go to work. Does he or does he not have to be at work today?
You want me to continue working you like I did just 5 minutes ago? I see those shiny, beautiful pearly whites.
You can't get them, bro. You can't get them.
No,
I'm not telling you my doctor.
I'm sorry about your finger, by the way. I heard you kind of dance around the Jason Tatum stuff, and it's game one, and it's the
they
Indiana
won,
Pacers.
dog. Listen, why? You know what's so crazy? Why we don't give the same criticism to these other stars when they do the same exact thing?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that you mentioned that.
Like when Luka didn't play well one game, nobody said nothing.
I appreciate that. No, I appreciate that. And that is actually at the heart of like all of my Jason Tatum criticisms, because I actually think, and it's funny because you have your perspective on it being a Boston guy, but I actually think that Jason Tatum's been handled with kid gloves. I actually think that if
how about nobody said Nobody talked about he led the team in points, rebound, assists, and steals in the first round. I never heard that come up.
No, he's a great player, and I think. Look, I'm not saying
they've only lost 2, and their record is 9-2 in the playoffs.
Well, I mean, they
easy
have
teams,
dude. They've been playing on a flat track, and you know this, but it's okay. Like my whole thing with Jason Tatum,
36 points and 12 rebounds.
Cool, and a 13.5-minute stretch in which he was totally invisible.
You know what? Oh, he didn't go for 50, guys. He didn't go for 50. Well, Jesus, no, what does the guy have to do?
He just wasn't the guy during crunch time, and you guys almost lost that game if it were not for Rick Carlisle forgetting how to coach.
Because 10 points in part, overtime.
I understand that he ate from the line with 90 seconds left in the game.
Did they win?
Well, if that's what we're doing, yeah, they won against a 6-seed Indiana Pacers. All I want is for Jason Tatum to be treated like the other stars. I mean, you know how the immense pressure that you guys had to deal with when you made all those moves. You know the pressure that the Miami Heat had to deal with that came with building a roster like that. Jason Tatum is always this far deep, and it's quantifiable. Tom Haberstroh has done great pieces on that. This player does seem to go missing occasionally, or his metrics dip. Now, that you could say that for a lot of players. The game gets tighter, defense gets better, shooting splits go down, but his go way down in bizarre ways. And there was a 13-minute stretch there last night when the game is on the line where he's deferring to other guys on the team. So I'm not saying he's incapable of doing this, and I know he's got like a 50-point Game 7 in his archive not too long ago. I want to see it. I want to see the game's greats ascend to greatness when big-time moments present themselves. He's done it a couple of times. I want to see him do it in this round, and then I'm going to do the sports radio thing of saying, I want to see it in the finals.
You did it, Paul. You did it.
25, 33, 33, 25, 36.
Has there ever been a stretch?
That's the last 5 games.
Paul, has there ever been a stretch in your career, because you're a guy that's reputed to be a bucket getter, a dog, a guy that thrives for those moments. I didn't call bank, I called game. So, has there ever been a moment with a game on the line in a playoff game where you go scoreless for 13.5 minutes? Moreover, you barely touch the ball. As soon as you get the ball, you hand it off to Derek White.
I got to take this call. Hey, hello? Yeah, man, I'm talking to weird-ass Ruiz right now, man. I'm going to hit you back in a little bit. You going to be there? All right, yeah. He over here talking some phone about Jason Tatum. Let me holler back. All right, man, bye.
We could see you didn't answer. The phone was
off.
Yeah. I tried to sell it.
The phone was off.
You could attempt, Paul.
The phone was off. So maybe there has been, but I don't know. Maybe there has been in your career, but I just find it very, very bizarre that he goes missing for 13.5 minutes straight. But as you were, I'm just grooming myself. I don't find that at all weird when people do hits.
All right, see you later. He's an NBA champion. There's the evidence right there, Paul Pierce, that you're a terrible actor.
The phone.
Your phone.
See the answer the phone thing.
He's an NBA champion. He's a Hall of Famer. He's been stirring up shit for years. Check out new episodes of The Truth Lounge with Paul Pierce every Friday on the DraftKings Network and all the Smoke Productions on YouTube. There it is. We have exposed it with our investigative team. That is not a phone
Bonier than those teeth.
See you later, Paul. Good.
All right, y'all. Man. Good talking to y'all always.
See you, Paul.
See you later.
They got me.
Yeah, gotcha journalism. We got him with the journalism. Excellent work. They got me. Mike, I don't think I have ever seen disrespect administered in the way that is just Q-tips and cleaning your elbows and doing what lotion?
Moisturizing.
Like, what the hell
and
were
Paul
you
seems to like it.
Yeah, he seems to delight in the back
take my
and
hints
forth.
from others. Apparently, he's normalized grooming yourself during interviews, so I just took it to the next level. Got one up him.
Hey, he had the Q-tip. He had the... Y'all funny as hell.
I'll never speak to you again. I hate you, Paul Pierce. I hate you.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.